Grow Rich Summer Prosperity Series. Am I on, Carrie? Woohoo! Am I done? It doesn't make noise? Great. You know, and in this idea of readiness, I want to include this this concept of not only are you ready to have, but are you ready to step up and be the person that gets to have. So as always, the question is, are you ready? Yes! But are you ready to be the person that gets to have what you're ready to have? Yes! Are you ready to think the thoughts that will create prosperity? Yes! Are you ready to speak the words that will create prosperity? Yes! Are you ready to take the actions that will create prosperity? Yes! So are you ready to have it all? Yes! Are you ready to be it all? Yes! Are you ready to do it all? Yes! Get up out of here. Aloud. I know that God is the source of all supply, and that money is God in action. I know that my good is here now. I am so rich and so full that I have abundance of money to spare and to share today and always. I know that true prosperity includes perfect health, perfect wealth, and perfect happiness. This word which I speak in faith knowing now activates universal law, and I accept the results. I bless all that I have now, and I bless the increase. I bless all the others in the Think and Grow Rich program of our center, and I know that we now prosper together in every way. I give thanks for this good, and so it is. Wonderful. So now is your opportunity to share, and if you have something to share, come up to the mic. And I just want to give us a bit of a reality check. If you filled out this form that says, "This is my pledge," you have agreed to tithe 10% of your income in this class, and that includes the things that you are sharing. So I know that some people have shared and you haven't tithed on what you shared yet, so this is the last night of class, and this is your night. Come on up and share.
Hello, I'm Margaret. I got a notice in the mail from the last medical office that I worked for. I worked there from 2000 to 2009, and they have a pension that they started on their own for every single employee who ever worked there. So I got a notice in the mail. I'm going to be getting $200 a month for life.
I'm Jackie, and I have a house in Florida that I needed to reinstate with FPL Electric Company. They wanted another $245 deposit, and they said that if I did automatic bill pay, that they would not charge me for it. So I say $245.
Yay!
And I lent somebody $500, and they are on the cusp of repaying that to me.
Hi, I'm Susan, and I found $5 on the floor. And my son gave me a $50 gift certificate to a restaurant on my birthday in May. And we used it at my birthday, but there was some money left on the card. I don't know, maybe $6 or something. So the next time we went to that restaurant, we thought we were applying it to what the bill was, but they calculated it as a $50 card. So that was the second time. And then the other, last week when my daughter was here, we went to the restaurant thinking there was $11 left on the card, but there was 50. That was the card that kept giving. So unfortunately, we ran through
Okay, so what I want to say is what I got from this class. And what that is amazing clarity about what my passion is. And anyone who knows me well knows what that passion is. And after my Japanese friends were here, and after I started doing the writing for the pages, what I realized is that I want to be living in Japan.
Yes.
And so, the way Napoleon Hill talks about, like, when you have it, nothing is too much trouble. Nothing, you just are lit up and you charge on. So it's like where somebody else would say, well, what about the cats? And what about this? And what about, hey, I'm calling about that. I'm checking on that. And, you know, nothing, it's all good. So I just have an abundance, not just, I mean, so what the class created for me was an abundance of clarity, an abundance of joy.
Yes, I got an extra guest this week in our vacation rental, so an extra $300.
I want to talk about the importance of keeping your word and tithing, because it always works out, always, in these weird ways, and you never know how. So recently I kept my word to my son, who's going to go to college soon, and I borrowed like a lot of money from his account in order to pay bills and stuff like that. I said, before you go to college, don't worry, I'll pay it back. So I paid it back, and I was worried how I was going to meet my living expenses after paying that back. And as soon as I paid it back, a couple days later, which was today, I was wondering what I was going to have to tithe on, and I got a call from my mother who had a big estate from my father, and she said there's a check in the mail. It's going to be a few $1,000s, but enough to pay the money that I paid my son back and more. And what's really funny about that is about when tithing, I'm not going to get the check for a couple of days, and I thought, well, my mind says, well, the class is over tonight. I'm not going to get it for a couple of days. I'm going to get the tithe. And I said, as soon as that conversation starts, I'm going to start writing the check out. And that supports you in having breakthroughs in money in your life. Just keep your word and do your tithe.
Yay.
Tell us about your arm.
It's a good story.
Okay. 35 years ago, I got my first degree black belt in karate. And after that, I wanted to get my second degree, and I went all around the country with work and being in the military and school and several divorces and things like that. So I never stayed in a school long enough to actually get my second degree. So getting my second degree was very important to me. It wasn't going to stop me from doing it. So 3 weeks ago, I broke my ulna, and it really hurt. And they wanted to put a cast on it, but I said, no, I want to wait, because this last weekend I had my second degree test finally at a school where I could do it. So at the test, I had to break through, with the broken bone, break through 3 boards with my fist, and I broke the boards, and the way I see it is the arm's going to heal, but the boards will stay forever broken.
Boards with a broken arm,
Right.
because you were clear.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Wow. It was me or them, and it was me.
In our little treatment from prosperity, we say health, wealth, and happiness. Well, my daughter and I have been together for about a week, and normally we can't do this, but we have had a wonderful, wonderful week, and it's like, it's just unfolding, and she's happy and said she wanted to come back. So we went out to dinner last night and messed up the order, and they took 50% off of the check. Last week, I knew that my 12-year-old car and I were going to part company. And I had been ill the week before, so I hadn't paid my tithing, and it was like the temptation. If I don't pay my tithing, I'll have a bigger down payment. But I thought, no, I made a commitment, so I paid my tithing. And we were driving around and looking at stuff, and the man kept saying, well, for what you want to spend, you can't get this, you can't get this, and you can't get this. And I had my perfect car. I didn't know the model, but I knew everything I wanted in it, and I wanted it to be green. So Saturday we went out, drove a few cars, and I kept saying, it's a nice car, but I don't like it. And the sales lady said, let me show you this. This is the one for you. And she brought this car and said, there's no way I can afford this. And she said, go drive it. Yes, you can. So as it turned out, on a second-hand car, they took $9,000 off of the sticker price, and part of that was the trade of a 12-year-old car. So there has to be something special in that. And I told her what I wanted my payment to be, and it only came out $10 more than I figured out in my budget. So I feel like I've been doubling that.
David, I'm off.
Yeah. No, it's
You're on, Sylvia.
Hi, I'm Sylvia. I was in the prosperity class previous to this, at the beginning of the summer. And a friend of mine sent me out to look at a house for her. And I just had a really different feeling from the beginning about this. She's always looking at houses. Anyway, I really liked the house. She ended up not wanting to buy it and was considering buying another one in the same subdivision. And subsequently has decided she's going to stay where she is. And when I wasn't looking for a house, and this turned out to be my perfect house. Location, everything about it, the floor plan, you name it. And when I wasn't looking for a house, and I started out, and when I realized I really liked the house, I went, well, I wonder how much the payment for this price house is. So I did some calculation, and I realized that it was less than I was paying for rent. And then I thought, my God, do I have enough for the down payment? Check that. That worked out. So I started into the transaction. And it's been a long journey. One of the things that Barbara talked about is that you can't allow yourself to have any thought except focused on success. Not if you have any negative thoughts, you allow yourself to be a victim and you give your power away and all. So there were many, many things came up. We hit underwriting. And I had a past negative experience, and I was past the deadline, I had a high credit score and all this, but I had one of those situations where there were check boxes that I didn't fit in. So I had to change the transaction. Through this, I've had a lot of problems with my family in the past, and my sister was just 100% supportive, could not have been more supportive. And it was such a breakthrough for me, not only in manifesting this great house, and I closed on August 29th, I moved out of my apartment today, and it not only has been an experience of staying in the moment and staying focused. And believe me, all the things that I've been dealing with, it's like, it's achieving a big goal. So there's been a lot of stuff to deal with. It's not only the focus, but changing my expectation that people are that everyone's supportive of me, including my family, and living that in every moment, and not allowing doubt or whatever in. And I'll give you an example. There's paperwork that because they've been short of people, they haven't sent me about the loan. That's the kind of thing that would be a big trigger. There's been things about like the interest rate. I could go on. That when you do anything big, there's always a lot of little things to keep your consciousness. So it's just been an incredible experience with very, very limited resources of going for a dream. And what's been interesting, one of the things that I want to do is, I'm really interested in creating jobs in Asheville. And I worked as a career counselor, and there were, I don't kind of fit in the box, the usual thing for that, and my vision doesn't. And all these resources are starting to come to me, and I hope that there'll be people in this room that are business people and all that might consider approaching me, or if I approach you, will help me, because it's a big vision that would help a lot of people. So.
Hello, everybody. How's it going? So, I heard triggers. Where did all those go? Thank you, Science of Mind. I heard happiness, health, and wealth, and when I think about that, over the years, and especially the last year that Carrie and I have been coming here, Carrie will dispute some of the happinesses. What about that morning? Day? But it does keep getting better and better. And on the tithing note, over the years, Carrie and I have really kind of got into, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago, like this idea of giving money, and maybe the money comes to giving money, and it was, 2 or 3%, like after taxes, and then it was 3 or 4, and 5 or 6, and maybe up to like 7 at some point. And somewhat recently, 3 or 4 months ago, we got to 10% after taxes, so we were kind of happy to be there. And then some other stuff happened where we want to get to that plane of before the taxes are taken out, 10% of this money goes out into the world and creates the flow and all that good stuff. But my story for this class, and particularly this last one, I've been trying to quit my job. And I've set a lot of dates and lines in the sand, which for me are real bad juju back in the day, because I could never get there. It's never soon enough. Blow up and explode beforehand. But I've gone past a couple dates, so I think somebody is like throwing these what may be considered obstacles in my way. So I've stayed on at my job longer, and 2 things happened along that path, and I'll quit next week. But so they decided to give me a bunch of stocks, like right after I passed the first boundary or whatever, and I was really cool with it. So here's all these stocks, right? And then they decided to give me more stocks out of the blue, and it's just, it wouldn't be weird, but it's this and it's us, and it's all you guys contributing to that. And I realize, it is the dime that I find on the ground. It is the smile, or the let me get into traffic. It's all those things along with the money. But for this class, where Carrie and I do believe that Carrie is really the manifester of the stuff. Like, if the universe were here and Carrie were here, I could conveniently step in between the filter that it sticks to, because sometimes the checks have my name on it, but I think she has more to do with it than I do. But, so the stocks and everything came to $22,882.34. So here's a check for $2,288.
I have 2 things, actually. About a month and a half ago, I was driving down Patton Avenue, and I was on my way to Sam's. And you know how Barbara talks about her parking spots? And she had talked this one evening about the parking spots directly in front. They used to have handicap things on them, and they don't have them on it anymore. And she said that as she pulled in, somebody was pulling out, so she parked there. And I thought, I'm going down Patton Avenue, I'm gonna manifest that. So I said, I want Barbara's spot. And I said to myself, I know it's there for me. Well, darn it, as I pulled in into the parking lot, somebody was pulling out of the very spot, and so I pulled into it. I thought it was pretty neat.
Well, it wasn't Barbara? Was it Barbara pulling out?
I'm sorry?
Was it Barbara pulling out?
But I was there today also, and as I was coming down Patton Avenue, I thought to myself, okay, I want something up front, it doesn't have to be Barbara's stuff. And there again, somebody was pulling out right directly in front of the door there. So I pulled in and went in and did my shopping. My story kind of goes back to last November when I first retired. And I had closed down my business. I had had a business for 19 years at that point. And I closed it down. I didn't attempt to sell it or anything. I just wanted to be out of it because the stress had gotten far beyond what I wanted to tolerate for the rest of my life. So it was November 27th that it was the date that I was supposed to, even though I'm a little bit nervous. It was November 27th that I was supposed to leave. And on November 26th, I got a phone call from somebody up in Raleigh asking to buy my business. And by that time, we had found new places for all my clients. So I really didn't have a business to sell, but I did maintain my license. And there's a moratorium on the type of business that I had. I had a home health agency. And there's a moratorium on the licenses right now. And this particular company that I was dealing with just kept kind of fiddling and fooling around with it and, you know, giving me all kinds of excuses. And I finally figured out that what they were waiting for, they thought the moratorium was going to be lifted. And July 31st was the target for it. And it came to a point where I didn't want to deal with it anymore. I just figured the heck with it. So I sent him an email and said, I'm not going to deal with you anymore. And the next day, somebody else called and wanted to buy the license. They weren't interested in the business. They just wanted the license. So we have signed papers, and I wanted to have a check here tonight. I don't have it because I don't have the money yet, but that will be the very first check that I write. So.
Okay, I have a few things that have happened to me, but I'm only going to mention three here. I can sort of take credit for these, but not really, and I'm going to explain why in a second. The first thing, I have started manifesting some actual cash money, but one was a drunk came up and gave me $20 because I gave him directions to his hotel. And he was from Atlanta, and I was like, you're in Asheville, you're not gonna get shot, I promise. And he was like, no, I please, you helped me. And so I took it, and I was like, I manifested that, I put it in my back pocket, and I was just like, thank you, universe. And the other thing that was interesting was every week I go to a Megum bed appointment. Who knows what a Megum bed is? Okay, they're really awesome. And this last week, the lady at the desk told me she was going to give me free 15 minutes every time I came in. So it's like basically a free extra session every time I came in. So I thought that was really cool. And then the third thing is these flowers. Because on Sunday, a bunch of us who became members that day, and like Alex was there, and Ann was there, and you were there, and there was a couple of other people, and we decided, you know, wouldn't it be nice to give a gift to John and Barbara at the end of class? And we were like, yes, that's really awesome. And I was like, well, I have daisies in my yard, I will pick some. And so I forgot, conveniently. And I was working on my computer today, and my daughter, she's 17, she comes in the house, and she plops this in front of me, and she says, I got these today. You know, she went somewhere, she's like, I got these today, and I really don't want them, so here you go. And I was just like, that's great, because those are really nice, way nicer than the daisies I was going to pick. So these are for you from us.
So
pretty. White too, how about that?
I'm Alex. You probably know that already. Some of the things that I got out of this class, and there was so much I got out of this class, but something that I really, and I'm still working with this, is that it's okay and I deserve things. You know, like it's all right to have a home. It's okay to have people give things to me. You know, I'm the big giver, but you know how that works. So anyway, I had put an application for a home, and the first loan officer, they refused it. So first I went into stuff, but then I went to another lender, and it's into the process of being approved. It hasn't been final yet, but the people who are selling the homes, they said, well, if this doesn't work out, we have private investors. And so I just, you know, it's like I qualify for everything. It's just when you're self-employed, sometimes you have some challenges there. But it really, my head has been going crazy for the last 3 or 4 days, because when someone says no, I just say, oh, forget it. I'm gone. You know, it's like, but then what is it that I really want? I want a home, and I deserve it.
Yeah.
You know, and that is really what has come out of all of you, is the okayness to be who I am, and to just, there's no words. It's just to be, okay, to become and to be. So, thank you. From the bottom of my heart. So please copy to my intention that I say yes by tomorrow.
Well, I am not used to this. I can sing in front of you, but speaking, my hands are sweating. But anyway, I work at a job where I work with youth, adjudicated youth, and we provide credit recovery, which means if they fail a class, we have an online program that comes through. We have to pay for it, but they come and they can keep their credits up. The seniors can graduate, and most of the time, if I'm working with adjudicated youth, I'm doing drug classes and gang classes, prevention classes, and also career readiness. So that's what I do. And a few days ago, I think last week, I was counting computers. We just bought some new laptop computers, and so I'm into numbers. And so as I was counting these computers, each computer is numbered. So when I kept counting, I got to the number, I counted number 8, and it happened to be the 8th computer. And I'm like, okay, pay attention. You know, something said pay attention. And I didn't think anything about it anymore, but I understand, I know that the number 8 is a new beginning. And today, it just, something popped into my head, this wonderful idea. I have a great boss, and he allows me to use my creativity. I also am a facilitator for our parent support group. And I said, well, I have an idea. I mean, I just came out and said, I got an idea. How about we do something, add something to the program? And I told him my idea, what I wanted to do, and he says, go for it, we can do it. So I was very, very excited about that, because adding to this group program will bring in more money, which means my salary will go up. I'm excited about that. And today, I mean, I do this every day. When I go, you know, talk and go to work, and I'm excited. But this particular day, I was getting ready to leave work, and I was like, oh, today is the last day of class. Woo! And he's sitting there, and he turns around in his little chair, he sits there with the wheel, you know, roller chair. He turns around and says, I think there's more going on at that center than just classes, because you are too happy. And my reply to him was, you have no idea.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Hi, I've got pages and pages of notes, but I'll try to be brief. The newest biggest thing is that we have a Chinese exchange student living with us now as of yesterday. He'll be attending, his name is Lee, and he'll be attending Carolina Day School. So that's new and exciting. On the way, literally, on the way here, we checked the mailbox, and previously I told you I filled out one of those little forms for, you know, a lawsuit, one of those group lawsuits. So there was a check for $50, and I had another check for $500, that was on the way here. And the store, we did go get the storage container, we opened it, and we have sold what looked like junk jewelry that was in a bag, and I was like, no, let's go take this to the silver and gold shop. And Eric was just talking. I walked out with a check, and then he's like, well, how much is it? And it was like 500 something. He's like, what? That was just one little bag out of the whole container, and we have tons of fine porcelain china and crystal and hand-painted Japanese gold damari, and if someone knows something about all that stuff, I would love for someone to help me with that. But it has been amazing. I've got my website in process, and that's up. It's not totally up, but I've got someone helping me with that, so that's been awesome and amazing. But, I got 2 cucumbers on the way in. I've been getting a lot of fruit, and a lot of vegetables. So it hasn't just been money, it's been a lot of ease and flow, and just, it's been very good, very joyous. Thank you.
On the way in. I wasn't feeling that great. I had some sort of illusion, and she just took that away and walked in here with the cucumbers, and here she is. And thank you.
Okay, I'm Nina, and you might know I'm a practitioner here, and I was fortunate enough to get hired by someone to do spiritual mind treatment for them for a whole month. Wow. And I'm really, really happy because it's going to manifest right now. And I also do readings for people, and I had a client that I hadn't seen in a while call me to arrange a meeting, and it went very well and successful. And I charge $100 an hour for that. And she paid me for 2 readings, which was great, plus a bonus. Yeah. And I also have a gig this Friday and Saturday in Tryon to do readings for 5 people. So I'm very happy, and it all started with finding a quarter at the library. Yeah.